Good morning, dieharders. Who's ready to live free or die hard? This is the Shogun, and I'm surprisingly quiet setting because it's early in the morning, and if you can hear the snoring in the background, you can tell I don't want to wake anybody. On this here episode of the SW Experience, this is actually an old one that I'm re-releasing, but I've made a couple changes to it because, it's on YouTube, and I figured I should do something special for y'all. Shouldn't release the same stuff that I released way back when. I mean, what kind of half-ass producer would I be if I produced the exact same stuff I produced way back in the day now with no changes or updates whatsoever? I mean, who the hell does that? Rockstar. Definitive. I'm sorry, I must be a draft in here or something. Anyway, as well, that's what this is, man. This is the word. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the SW Experience Podcast 21, and here we go.
Terms of their TV series,
Oh,
it has annoyed the living shit out of me.
not a fan of the Arrowverse, huh?
It's not. I've had my fair share of problems with the Arrowverse. One of it being
Oh, it's not the Arrowverse anymore. I forgot the CW verse. Not a fan of the CW verse, huh?
That's even how what. I know Lucifer is supposed to be in it because he's part of what Vertigo Comics, and that's
Yeah.
like a division of DC Comics that handles certain material. And he's fucking OP as a character, and he's not done right in terms of his portrayal in the show. But who cares? I mean,
Dude, it's a show about the devil being a detective. Like, I
yeah,
can't really.
yeah. I get you. I get you. But I don't know. Every CW show, like it starts off great, genuinely good. Okay, season 1 of Arrow, genuinely good. Season 2 of Arrow, pretty good. Season 3, near the end, it was a little sus.
They kept going back to the island, though. That island was a crutch, man.
It's like nuke the island already. Fuck the island. Jesus.
It's worse than the island from Lost, man. Just. We have to go back.
We have to go back.
That was probably the creator's room, oh fuck, we've hit a wall in terms of story. I know, let's go back to the island. Just
We have to go back to the. We just went to the island 3 episodes. Are we going back?
yeah, like I forgot something.
We forgot something. There's more shit.
Dude,
And the worst one is for I don't know what's going on because I stopped watching Flash. It's not like I hated it and then switched it off. It's just they started introducing the other forces,
right?
like the Sage Force, the Strength Force, and all the other forces. And then can Barry's mom just be dead? Like seriously, can you like put the woman in the ground and never see her again?
I don't think they can do that, man. It's just,
It's fucking irritating. Like every season, there's like some incarnation of just Barry's mother is just there for some reason. We don't know why. She's just there. Okay, I've ranted enough about CW. You can go. You can go.
all right. 44 seconds in, I would like to say, good morning, dieharders. Who's ready to live free or die hard? My name is the Shogun, and with me once again is Big Al. After his, continuous rant on the CW verse, I gotta say, did you know Men in Black was a Marvel property?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and yet, nothing.
Nothing.
No mention in the MC. Why would you have damage control if Men in Black is a thing?
They are damage control. For everything.
Basically, yeah.
Why haven't they mentioned the Asgardians?
Yeah. Remember there was this rumor like we were gonna get a series about damage control, like
Yes, I remember. It was supposed to come out this year. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was supposed to come out this year.
but what would that even be?
That would, I just wanted it to be like a Seinfeld kind of comedy where it's just like a bunch of dudes, just a bunch of bros, just like cleaning up the wreckage from like the first alien attack. Like just
Like that scene in Homecoming where he's like, no, that drill doesn't work. With this alien stuff, you gotta really get in there, you know?
yeah, like that. Just like it's just like because all we see is just the crazy wild shit that the MCU has.
Yeah.
Robots asking Ship of Theseus questions.
You remember that shit? Oh,
That
dude.
was brilliant. That moment was brilliant.
Dude, I spent like days thinking about that shit. Like, well, if you remove the rods, but then
Is it the same ship?
then neither of these motherfuckers is the real ship. But then,
They're both the same. The real
Like-
ship is the same. Yeah, that conundrum just
yeah,
fucked
that
me.
just, dude.
Sat there like, oh shit, I got some thinking to do. It's like, who made it famous? It's Big Bang Theory that made it famous. Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, the guy's cat is in the box.
Yeah.
It's either alive or dead. Weird.
Dude.
So yeah.
What do you think happened to White Vision? He just flew off. You think like,
Do you know what? He flew off into the next movie that needed him. That's where he flew. That's
but there's this theory like, because part of his objective was kill Wanda, and then once Vision showed up, his new objective was kill Vision. So if he believes, there's a theory that he believes himself to be Vision, then he just flew off to like self-destruct somewhere.
that would have been weird.
Well, that would have been anticlimactic.
Yeah,
let's
it
be
would have been
honest.
very like you have like a rebirth of a character who got a lot. Like, Vision never really got fleshed out. If you
Yeah.
think about it, he was a plot device. He was used like a plot device. He was like in Infinity War. He was used like, oh, he has one of the stones. We need to get out of his fucking head. And then the other one, they were like, oh yeah, he can like stop Ultron from getting out the internet, which made no sense. What the fuck? You do realize if Ultron's already on the net, he can just make more copies of himself. That's not how things work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
And you
again,
telling me they destroyed every single copy?
there's in some fucking Eastern European country where they're selling like weapons. There's like an Ultron just like sitting there on a throne.
And there was even in Homecoming, in that damage control tuck, there was like pieces of Ultron and shit being shipped to the facility.
Yeah.
So you're telling me if someone turned it on, he wouldn't be like, "Wow, I'm back" and shit like that.
Yeah, I've always wondered, like you destroy the thing and then somebody fixes it out.
Yeah.
It's still a piece of Ultron. Like
Yeah.
he's a computer program. He's gonna replicate himself. And, like, you
Yeah.
know, there has to be a copy of Ultron just like chilling somewhere.
Dude, there was this theory when White Vision showed up. Like he hadn't said anything. There was like this theory, like when he talked, it was gonna be the voice of Ultron, because
Dude, I would've
that would have been
lost-
so cool.
I would have lost my fucking mind.
Dude, that would have been so cool if he just grabbed like Wanda and he's like, I was told you were gonna be strong or some shit like that. Would have been awesome. It would have been cool if he had the voice of Ultron in the beginning, but then when Vision gave him his memories, it was like Paul Bettany's voice coming in, because that would have been kind of fitting. Like, oh, now you have like Vision's memories and everything. Now you're Vision. Would have been great.
You know, it's the best teaser in that episode. It's Paul Bettany. He was saying, "Oh yeah, there's a new
This
character."
actor I wanted to work with for so long.
He trolled us so. Everyone was like, "It's Benedict Cumberbatch. It's Benedict Cumberbatch."
Oh,
No,
dude.
it's Charles Xavier. I'm like, no.
Like, who's gonna be? Like, no, he was talking about himself. Just,
It's trolling us.
dude. Everyone thought Mephisto was gonna show up.
Yes. Because there was a storyline where Wanda had kids, and the only reason she had kids was because
She made a deal.
with Mephisto. Yeah.
But the MCU doesn't really follow the comics verbatim.
Yeah. It's just like, fuck the comics.
But you know, who really doesn't follow the comics is the DCEU. They make up their own shit.
Yeah.
Martha does not happen in the comics. There is no Martha in the comics. Just
Thank God for that.
But hey, man, it's. Would you prefer it if DC just adapted already existing storylines instead of
fuck
wrote
yes.
new ones?
Hell yes. One storyline I want to see that I know is not going to happen is the White Knight storyline.
Really?
You know what the White Knight storyline is? Joker basically gets killed.
Joker was cured.
Joker is cured and becomes a politician. And then Harley Quinn becomes the new Joker. She becomes Neo Joker, I think it is. and now Batman, and now he somehow has rallied people against Batman. So like
Right.
Batman's been hunted by the cops and stuff like that, and he's questioning like his own purpose within that Gotham City. It's a really interesting story. I didn't get to finish it because I was reading what was it, the Metalverse. Yeah,
Oh.
I started. Yeah, that. Oh, that.
It's like they took the word metal and like really leaned into it. Like
Batman Lost, the Red Devil.
the Batman. There's a rumor that the Batman in the Joker universe, the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, that would be the Batman who laughs. You think that Batman going up against, because Joker's getting a sequel. So what you mean why? The director's coming back. They're working on a script. I mean,
Okay, it's the same director. I'll give it a. What I thought is that the Joker wasn't Joker.
he was the inspiration for the Joker.
It's not that. He was just a commentary on society. That's how I saw the movie. I didn't see it as like, this is the origin story of Joker. I saw it, this is a commentary on society. They're using Joker as like,
Yeah.
because at the end of it, you wouldn't say, oh, the situation is fucked up. You think, yeah, he needs to shoot that guy. He needs to,
Yeah.
yeah.
There were a lot of people where you're like, yeah, get him, but like, dude, there was so much like mystery. Did he actually kill that woman and her kid? Did he imagine that? Like he imagined the relationship? Like,
Yeah, that was quite, that part.
yeah,
Oh.
dude.
No,
Like,
we-
no one really has a straight answer. Because you ask the actors, they're like, no, he didn't do it. You ask this person, they're like, oh, he did it. But like, just, I don't know.
I like the director's just gonna sit there and he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
He's just gonna chill,
He's
let
like-
everybody.
It's like, so what did it mean? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's just, shit.
I like that. I like that about shows. Like the director, he's just like, it's my secret. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Carry on theorizing. It's like Ava. Have you watched it? Do you know about Ava?
There's a movie called Ava, but I don't think it's the same. With Jessica Chastain.
The anime series.
Nah, I haven't seen it.
Neon Genesis event character.
Nah.
It is probably the most marketed series in Japan. It's like, it's about this, it's such a fucking weird plot. There's aliens that are coming to attack the Earth,
Right.
and they need an 11 or 12-year-old kid who's really fucking young to pilot a biomechanical mech.
Wouldn't be a Japanese anime without some mechs in there somewhere.
Yeah, and then he experiences like a whole bunch of trauma, and then there's 3 other pilots like him, and they're all fucked in the head as well. They're all got like their own issues,
Yeah.
and it's quite an interesting watch. They've milked the shit out of it in Japan.
Yeah.
There's trains that have like Ava paintings
Right.
on it. It's a good series, really confusing, pretty good.
Right.
So, like, though the last few episodes didn't make any sense because the studio that was developing the show got low on funds. So it's a whole bunch of just like mind trippy shit. And the only person who actually knows what happened is the guy who directed it.
Yeah. And he's keeping quiet.
He's just keeping quiet. And there have been entire theses and like people have written their honors on Ava from like a psychological perspective and even from like a full film perspective. Like it's that, it's that you can go into such detail with it. So yeah, it's just, I like it. The director's just sitting back like, I know what happened.
Yeah.
Fucking guys.
It would be best if he didn't say anything though,
Yeah.
because the actual answer might be really underwhelming.
I feel like it is most cases. I
Yeah.
feel like it is. Do you think we did that with Shakespeare?
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Do you think, like, if you could go back and you could talk to Shakespeare, like, hey, listen, just like be dead ass honest with me. What did all this shit mean? Like, I'll show him, like, this is a commentary in one of the books you've written, Macbeth. You read it to me and they'll flip through and like, this is bullshit. Just throw it out the window.
He's like, this is not at all what this meant, man. Like, dude, the 3 witches actually represent this and that, and like, which Macbeth was kind of a departure though, because Shakespeare wrote dramatic comedies. or black comedies and shit like 12th Night, or you remember we did 12th Night at school.
Twelfth Night was great. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah. So when I read shit like Macbeth and you see people getting decapitated and like I'm trying to wash the blood off but it won't come off. It's like, the fuck is this, man? Like,
Yeah.
but that movie,
Yo.
man. You remember how the shit ended? It was like there was gonna be a sequel. You remember the kid running off into the mist and then the king getting up and then running off at the same time? Like, the fuck, are we gonna get a Macbeth 2? Like,
It's a sequel. Maybe the reason they chose those actors.
yeah.
Okay, for some context, we're talking about the Macbeth movie that came around it was around the same time as Assassin's Creed, and
Yeah.
it was the same actors. What was his name?
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender was Macbeth, and the only reason they chose that is because it was from the same studio. And
They were like, oh, hey, Michael, since we got you for one movie, you mind looking at this Macbeth script we got, you know?
It's like, I know you did Macbeth in film school.
Oh, dude. You know, there was a time when dude was like, he was gonna retire from acting. It was a little after Dark Phoenix when he said he was gonna retire from acting and focus more on being I don't know if it's not Formula One, but it's like driving. He would become like a professional driver. That's what he said, that was his dream from day one.
I mean, more power to it. Just like start doing driving movies. Like, come on.
Yeah. But then again, his last movie was X-Men Dark Phoenix, so like, I get it.
I
mean,
get it.
But then like, as the year was coming to an end, suddenly it was announced, oh, Michael Fassbender cast in the sequel to Kung Fury. Like, oh, I guess he's not retired anymore. I mean,
Yeah. That happened.
but damn, dude, there was this movie he was in, the Snowman. Like, dude, that was so confusing. Like, just, no, because the director actually came forward and said the reason the movie doesn't make sense is because we had to like rush straight to the ending because we had like X amount of days to film, and when we were supposed to be filming the events that lead to the ending, there was like a blizzard and whatnot, and we only had like, once it cleared up, we only had a few days left, so we had to just like speed through everything, and the movie came out a mess. So
Listen, I hate when that shit happens. Okay, Game of Thrones is a peak example why you don't rush anything. I've never watched it. I've seen the memes, and I can already tell it's bad.
yeah,
Like, people have explained to me why it's bad, and I understand why it's bad.
I've seen it, season 1 through 8, man. I didn't watch it when the shit was popular and everyone loved it. I watched it when everyone was like, this show sucks. I'm like, I want to see why. Why are people so mad?
That's the best time to watch it.
Yes.
Why does this suck?
yeah.
Explain to me why.
Yeah.
I had a whole journey, right? I was listening to Queen at work because it just got in. I was listening to music on YouTube and Queen started playing. I'm like, yeah, this shit snaps.
Special thanks to Suicide Squad for bringing Queen back into the pop culture hemisphere with that awesome Suicide Squad trailer. I'm not gonna comment on the movie though, cause
Yeah, the movie sucked ass.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it once and I felt like
people are clamoring for the release the director's cut of Suicide Squad. Like, the director said there's a better version of the movie in there. The studio took it from him. Like, yeah,
That
man.
shit needs to calm down. It needs to calm down now because, like, I've been hearing rumors that there's a director's cut of Infinity War Endgame. I'm like, listen, I went through
It
3
was
hours.
3 hours long.
Okay, I don't need 6 hours in my life. Listen, I watched the Snyders version of Justice League. I loved it, but listen, I can't watch that thing too many times.
Not every movie needs a director's cut.
Exactly. Some movies need to stay there.
Some movies just suck.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh shit. You were listening to Queen and
Okay, so I was listening to Queen, and then I got into. It went to the Live Aid concert,
right.
but it was the version where it was like half Bohemian Rhapsody, like the movie, and like the actual concert.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, he copied Freddie's moves like one for one. And then I watched an interview and he said he watched that Live Aid concert, and like all the guys on set watch it like a few thousand times just to get it exactly. Like, this dude is really good at his job. And
He
I'm
can't
like,
sing though, but
yeah, I mean like.
he can walk, talk, and dress like Freddie, but he can't sing like
Okay,
Freddie.
nobody can sing like Freddie. God damn, that man has the voice of an angel. Like,
Thank God for lip syncing.
so then I was like, hey, I remember Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I started Mr. Robot last year sometime because of lockdown.
Yeah.
And I got I started it a while back. I got back into it and I stopped at the beginning-ish, like, okay, midway through season 2. Let's put it that way. I was like, you know what? It's that time. And I binged the rest of Mr. Robot. And that was one of the best shows I've ever watched. Just hands down, I'm gonna be very real, and this might be a hot take.
All
Some
right.
people, like, listen, trigger warning. I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
Not wrong. I mean, I've seen Breaking Bad. It's got its moments in the first season, but after that, just sort of, I don't know, repeat story beats, goes on, and the dude just becomes a straight up villain.
Yeah, he becomes the villain.
Yeah. There's that quote, like, I am the danger. Like,
You know what's funny about that quote? You know what's absolutely hilarious? The most husbandly way. Later on in that episode, he goes to his wife and he tells her sorry because he goes and tells her, like, hey honey, I'm sorry about that. like, you bitch.
dude. You went from like badass to like, yo,
Like,
I'm
I am
sorry.
the danger. It's like it's such a husband move. I swear. He goes like,
Dude.
he's like, she's showering, I think, and he comes in the room. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just like she comes in and towel. Like, I'm sorry about earlier. I'm like, what the fuck?
This guy, man.
This guy, what do you mean you're sorry?
Yeah. You know, fun fact about that guy, Bryan Cranston, he was actually one of the choices to play Lex Luthor before they settled on Jesse Eisenberg.
Fucking hell. What?
Fun fact, the reason they settled on Jesse Eisenberg is actually because of Heath Ledger's Joker. Because originally, when they were looking for Joker, it was boiling down to Willem Dafoe or Heath Ledger. And they decided they would go younger to like see if it would work, and it did. So they figured, okay, we went young last time and it worked out. Let's see if it'll happen again.
Just because you made the same choices, don't mean you're gonna get the same results. Okay?
Yeah. Besides, it's a totally different character.
To be honest, within the DCEU, if they went with an older Joker, I'm just saying, it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
It would have made much more sense because Batman has already gone through like all this experience. He has fucking young-faced Jared Leto
Yeah.
going up against like brooding 40-year-old. Like,
What about the theory that that's not Joker, that's Jason Todd? You buy into that?
fuck no.
Would it be a good twist if it happened? If it turned out that ain't the Joker,
honest,
that's Jason Todd.
The only time
They kind of use him for everything when you stop and think about it. They use Jason Todd like a lot.
Yeah,
in
they
the
do.
comics. And what's this Arkham Knight? You remember that shit? Wow.
what was the one movie, the Batman Beyond movie? Wasn't one of the Nightwing's?
Oh yeah. I remember he had this chip that made him the Joker when it would turn on, and like, I don't think that wasn't Dick Grayson though.
That was not Dick Grayson.
Yeah, it was
Dick
one of
Grayson
them.
was a lot older.
Yeah,
I think it was Jason Todd. I'm not too sure.
yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, if there's one series I want to see adapted into like the cinematic version is Batman Beyond. Holy shit, that
I
was
think Dane DeHaan would be a great Ted McGuinness. In case you're wondering who that is, he's Harry Osborn from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it. That would have been cool. But like, do you think it should be a series or a movie? Like that's the part I'm debating.
If they're adapting that story, then it could be a movie. But if they're doing the proper Batman Beyond from beginning to end, like the TV series with all the characters, a series would work, just not a CW series.
Oh fuck. Hell no. We'll get that shit away from CW. Don't ruin my Batman Beyond. You ruined my Flash. You ruined my Arrow. You did something to Lucifer. We don't know what.
Yeah.
You did something there.
They canceled that Constantine show they were trying to do back then.
That was actually cool.
Yeah.
Constantine was cool. What's Flash on? Season 7 now.
Is Legends of Tomorrow still a thing?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to know. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? Like, it might be out there. You might have some people watching it. Just not me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, time travel as a concept sometimes is quite fun.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, quite fun. But if that's every single episode and your season is like 20 episodes long, hell no.
Yeah. It does wear thin after a while.
It will. Paper thin.
Yeah.
You can jump into fucking time.
And if you screw up, you can just go back in time and undo that.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah, I think that's what irritated me the most, because the Flash introduced that concept, and even the first time that he did it, it was a little iffy. And then they just carried like, oh yeah, we can milk this. We can make a whole series out of it.
Yeah. And it initially Legends of Tomorrow sounds like an amazing idea. Take a bunch of villains, put them together to assemble
Oh, yeah,
this
the
team
second-
to travel through time. Like,
Yeah, it does sound cool. I think Suicide Squad as a series
yeah,
would work. I genuinely believe it would work.
yeah,
But not a very long series. We're not talking
yeah.
like the
You don't want to
CW
like
format.
overstay your welcome, though.
I meant like a kind of 3 seasons, 6 episodes.
Yeah,
That's good. Episode being 40 to an hour long. It's like one mission. They got 6 episodes to go through it, and each season you rotate the villains, or like somebody comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's awesome.
and you do. What would be cool is if they would like hype up like this movie is gonna have like this season's gonna have KG Beast, and then like he's the one who dies because of the thing.
The first 5 minutes.
Dude, I fucking loved when the animated movie when they did that. That was so fucking funny. Like just, oh man. But in the movie with the Slipknot guy, I'm like, who is this dude? I have no idea who this character is, and then he dies. I'm like, oh well,
I mean, like
there goes that guy.
There was that chick from. She was in Arrow as well. She was actually in Arrow. You remember that flashback when he went to Asia and he was with that husband and wife, and they released that poison gas. It was in the 3rd season of Arrow.
Which chick?
Okay, I'm doing reverse engineering and it's not working. Remember the chick from Suicide Squad that had the mask? And the
Oh,
sword?
yeah.
She was in Arrow as well.
She had a terrible intro.
Yeah, she did.
Everyone got like a flashback sequence or like a colorful neon writing, and all she got was, "This is Katana. She's got my back. I would advise not being killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims." Really, man? That's how we introduce characters now.
And people want to see the director's cut of that shit. No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
There's a better way to introduce the characters than just exposit who they are and what their shtick is, and then move on. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't know. I don't think even if we get the direct, I'm not saying we should, but even if we did get the director's cut of that movie, what would it do, man?
It would do nothing. The directors of DCEU would be like, we have gone it's too late now. We cannot go back.
Yeah.
Sorry. They'll do the same thing they did for Justice League.
Yeah, that movie took years to come out. Like,
Okay, but you know what? It was great. When it came out, it was fantastic.
in an interview with Vanity Fair, dude said that Warner Bros. Actually called him in January of 2020 to be like, okay, like we've been getting like non-stop tweets about the Snyder Cut, like how, like is this a valid thing? Does it actually
Does it
like,
exist?
yeah, does it exist? So he called them over to his house and he showed them like the 5-hour like rough cut that's like, you know, missing effects and like you still need to add sounds and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they agreed, like they said they were gonna release it as that. They were gonna release it in its raw, unedited
No,
form.
no,
So like
come
shut
on.
up the release the Snyder Cut people. Dude. No, because that way they actually don't have to spend any money on it. Because they spent like 70 million adding all the visual effects and getting all the actors to come back. So if they had released that raw 5-hour cut, it would have cost them no money.
It would have made them something, but not as much as this.
Yeah. He said the reason like he hated that idea was because he was like, one, no, it's not.
It's not.
Why would you just release a raw, unfinished movie?
It's not polished at all.
And then he's like, two, okay, you get to shut up the Snyder Cut people, but at the same time, you also get this out of like, you'll be able to sit there and go, you see, this is what you wanted. Look, it's not even good. Like, what is this? You know, like he could see that's what they were up to.
Yeah, you could tell.
Dude, you know he didn't get paid. He legit took no money making this movie because he wanted complete control over it. He didn't want them to be able to say, hey, we're paying you X amount of money to...
Yeah. I think that was good.
Snyder was a smart dude.
He was a smart dude. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah. I love that he went on, what's this show? I don't know, The Late Show, and said, suck it, Warner Brothers. Like, just... Oh, dude.
I mean, they deserved it. Fuck them. The only reason that movie got released because a bunch of greedy cunts. And
the bonus shit.
Yes,
By the way,
that's
the thing about the bonuses, did you know that they didn't even get them in the end? For real, they didn't even get them because the reason was they were worried because they were going to do this big merger with AT&T and they were going to get new bosses. So they were worried, hey, we might not have jobs come next year, so let's make sure we get the bonuses we're supposed to get this
so
year.
they're covering their asses.
Yes, and then when AT&T came in, thing is, those bonuses don't hinge on the number of movies released. They hinge on the quality of movies released.
Yeah. So they're really shit.
Yeah.
And you got the human thumb to do it, so...
Dude. I kind of feel bad for the guy.
I don't
because
at all.
No, not as a human being with what he was tasked to do.
Yeah.
As a human being, he's a piece of shit. But what he was tasked to do, he was like, they called him in and they said, we want you to direct the rest of Justice League. But it has to be under 2 hours and you have to change it entirely from a dark and gritty thing to a humorous thing. And then he actually redid that, you know that intro with Batman and that guy on the roof? And then the one, Parademon shows up?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fear, they can smell it. And like that shit. He actually filmed a comedic version of that and they were like, no, it has to be more serious. Like,
I mean, but you asked for comedy.
exactly.
Go all the way.
Exactly.
Go all the reason I didn't like that movie is because it was so half-assed. Like, if you gave Joss Whedon full control from the beginning,
It might have been a way better movie.
It might have been a way better movie. It might not have been true to the DCEU, what they were going for, with the way that Snyder directed Man of Steel and BVS. Although people have questions about both those movies and the characters, but still, Justice League was like a smash hit.
Yeah.
It irritates.
I watched you said yourself, you rewatched Justice League, and now that you've seen the Snyder Cut, and you rewatch Justice League, how do you feel?
I feel like I got scammed when I went to the movies.
Yeah,
I
like
feel
you
like-
only saw half a movie.
It wasn't even a half. It was like, you know that project you do, like you know it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just handing this thing in.
It's just throwing garbage out and like, hey man,
Listen, good luck.
Yeah.
You look at you go into class and you look at your lecturer and be like, when you see my shit, you're gonna fuck around. Or please make me pass. That's what I felt
dude.
like. That's what I felt like watching that movie.
like they're gonna be like handing out results and they're like, you come down here. Did you even try here? Like, no, not really. I mean,
What is this? Explain yourself. It's one of those moments.
oh damn.
Oh shit.
What I hate is that when, like Joss Whedon said when he showed Warner Brothers the 2 hour, like what he did with Justice League, he said they were glad. They were happy with what they saw. Just
Yeah, I just need to do something real quick.
the weirdness that goes on sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Log out. I had to do something. Anyways, we are back. It did not cut or anything, it just carried on recording.
Cool. I watched it and I noticed he fast forwards through a lot of shit. Because a lot of, in Justice League, in the Snyder Cut, there's a lot of slow-mo. But in Justice League, those scenes are there they just played in fast forward.
Yeah.
You notice with Wonder Woman in that scene when she's like blocking all the bullets and shit. In the Snyder Cut, she's doing that really fast. And then in Justice League, they like chop scenes out of that. She does that a bit, and then it cuts to the dude like, impossible.
Yeah, that was. I don't know how to feel about that scene because it felt unnecessary. I'm not gonna lie, it really did. You did not need to have that whole scene where she's like blocking the bullets and snow. Like, oh shit, it's gonna hit that guy. Grab him, just like move him. Like, no, just like cut it out. You don't.
Well, don't cut it out, man. Like,
Okay. Make it shorter.
Yeah.
Make it shorter.
Don't hit fast forward and just remove the ending to the. Dude. There was the attack when Steppenwolf arrived on the Amazon's island. It played out exactly the same. It was just fast forward, but something was lost when you sped up the footage.
Yeah, it was that level of inevitability.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna get the box. He doesn't care how many people he's gonna cut down. He's gonna get that bloody box. It had that feeling to it. Like, despite all of their efforts. Like, remember that one Amazonian, she was like tying it, and then she shoots
Yeah,
it.
and it goes, dude. Literally, as he was coming down, it goes, dude.
Yeah. It's like he jumps and she grabs it, just like, got it. Bang. It's like, oh shit.
But if you speed through that,
It doesn't have that same tension.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he's just
he
gonna,
just showed up and grabbed it.
yeah, he's like, he's getting a delivery order. You know, I came here to pick
Yeah.
up. Yeah. Give me the box. Thank you.
And Steppenwolf in that movie, in Justice League, he's just a dude. He's just a dude in armor. He's not like a monstrous guy. He's just a tall guy.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah, they sent me in.
Dude, he's like the skinny Korg, basically. Like, hi,
like-
my name's Steppenwolf. As you can see, I've got armor. Just.
I came to pick up the box. 3 of them.
Dude.
And we're gonna synchronize the mother box. Mother, where are you? Mother, answer.
There was a lot less mother in the Snyder
like-
cut. That's for damn sure.
He wasn't obsessed about the box. The box is a means to an end. He's
Yeah.
a real objective person. I need to get on good sides. I need to get back in dark side's good books.
Yeah.
That was the whole objective for him.
And that sequence at the beginning with the Green Lantern and the gods and everything, in Justice League, it was Steppenwolf, but in Snyder's thing, it was Darkseid.
Yeah.
That
Made more
was-
sense for it to be dark side.
Yeah.
Setting up like he's coming back to a
Yeah, because like the armies of man, Atlantis, and people from space came down to take on Steppenwolf. Really?
really. I mean, like, we beat him with fear this time, so he must have got
Yeah,
weaker.
I mean-
You sent us budget Steppenwolf this time.
That's that meme. Like, I want Steppenwolf. Like, we have Steppenwolf at home.
Like the Joss Whedon of Steppenwolf. He's just standing there like Mike Wazowski. like, hey,
Dude.
I'm here.
I feel like that's what they did with the Godzilla. You remember, like, back in the 90s, there was that Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick? And then in, like, the Japanese studio that owned the rights originally, they made another Godzilla movie, and they included that Godzilla, but he's just Zilla. Because, like, they said the Americans took the god out of Godzilla, so he's just Zilla, and actual Godzilla showed up to kick his ass. Oh, dude, that was so fun.
Have you watched Godzilla versus Kong?
Yes.
I don't know how to feel about that movie.
I like that it has a definitive winner.
Yeah.
I like that part.
Yeah.
Normally in a versus movie, it's like a draw, and
I
then they
hate that.
introduce
I
a new
absolutely
villain.
hate that. Like, no, fucking give me an answer, damn it. I knew
Yeah.
Godzilla was gonna win. Mega Godzilla was like, I'm here to assert dominance.
I didn't even know he was going to be there until like you started hearing like the press releases and shit. Yeah.
And was the end of it was the trailer just before it released?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Fuck,
what.
dude. That's why I only watch like the teaser trailer and the first trailer. I don't watch the second
I
trailer.
don't watch. I stopped watching trailers, and I think that has been like for the better when I go into a movie. Because like all my friends were hyping that shit up. They're like, yo, you gotta watch it. It's gonna be insane. I'm like, I know it's gonna be mud. I'm here for the lizard.
Yeah.
I'm here for the lizard. Just give me.
I'm not a fan of King Kong, huh?
Not really. I mean, King Kong's okay. I've watched a lot of Godzilla movies. I think that's why. I watched the 90s one. It's like fucking golden.
Yeah.
Where they went into Madison Square Garden. It felt like a Jurassic Park.
That's the thing. They were ripping off Jurassic Park, even with the little ones in the.
I was like, we have to nuke Madison Square Garden. I'm like,
Oh, dude. Is that the go-to plan for everything? Like, there's a zombie infestation. Nuke the place. There's little Godzillas running around. Nuke the place. Like, dude.
oh shit. Here we go again. It was like, and like, the worst part about that movie, right, is in typical 90s fashion. They'll see the thing coming at them, and they'll be like, and they'll stand there for a few seconds. I'm like, I'm fucking running. I'm out of there. I'm already go. By the time you go, I'm gone. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I think mainly that came down to the actors not having anything to like react to
Yeah.
more than anything. Because like nowadays you would, even though the CGI can act with thin air, there would be like something there to like look over there and then react
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I get you.
Even with Steppenwolf, like Kieran Hines, the guy had a mocap suit that he had to wear. He didn't just voice the character. There was this CGI breakdown for this one scene where he's like walking and he walks in a puddle. The visual effects artist said like when he stepped in the thing, the mocap suit like is pretty light, so the actor can move around in. So it wouldn't make sense if this huge guy stepped in a puddle and there was like a little ripple. So like they had to edit the water.
Yeah.
But he steps on a stick and the stick like snaps. He said like the guys that were asking, they were like, was the stick real? Because I kept them like, no, the stick is CGI. They just added it to like show the weight. And after like, no, dude, it looks fucking real. And it turns out, yes, the stick was real. Like all the things going on in this movie, and you want to know, was the stick real?
Really.
Oh damn.
Of all the things to ask.
But that movie that Godzilla movie, man, it's got its moments. I'll give it that. It is a big, dumb summer blockbuster, but
It's like there's a category of movies that I call them the Fast and Furious kind of movies.
man,
Yeah, it's just like you turn your brain off. Tenet is one of them. Just like, boop, that's some cool shit.
no, you gotta pay attention in Tenet.
I
'cause-
did,
yeah.
except the part where I couldn't take it seriously when they named the main character.
The protagonist.
The protagonist of like Christopher Nolan. You've watched The Dark Knight too many times, but you watched Dunkirk too many times, my man.
Dude, I did. It was that point when I realized, wait a minute, this guy doesn't have a name.
Yes.
It took me that long to be like, what's this guy's name? Like just, man.
Yeah, the movie just like go. There's no pause in that movie. It's just go. The best part, right, was when they went into the room. Robert Pattinson was on the other side. It was like, what's going on? It's like a bullet hole. It's like it hasn't happened yet.
And you see the thing coming out, like, oh no.
I was like, oh shit. How do you react? How do you handle situations like that? The worst part was the guy was like spazzing on the floor.
And you're just like going in reverse, like just, what the?
I'm like, you don't need to do that.
You just literally step to one side and let him play out the fight by himself. You do not need to be
You don't
in
need
there.
to. You just sit there on your phone and be like, "You done? Okay." That movie, okay. I understand there's some parts I need to pay attention, but for most of the movie, I was just like, "Some cool shit going on. Everything's in reverse."
But you had to know, like, the guy in the mask. When Robert Pattinson took the guy's mask off and he looked at him, like when I was sitting there, I'm like, why isn't he doing anything? Why is he just looking at the guy? And I thought either that's him in the future or it's protagonist. Like, okay, I'm not gonna call this dude protagonist over and over, so let's like other guy. Let's call him other guy.
But that's weird because he's the protagonist, so
Yes,
we can't call
just-
him the other guy.
Dude, there was, I don't know why, but with the kid, I kept getting the feeling like there was gonna be a big reveal, like that kid was actually young Robert Pattinson. Like, I don't know why, but it just kept feeling like that would be like this big twist, that the little kid that the mom wanted to protect so bad would grow up to become Robert Pattinson's character. You think that would have worked?
To be honest, like I said, brain off. Cool shit going on. Hell yeah.
That ending was just confusing. Like,
Yeah.
who's going forward? Who's going back? Like,
Yeah, it's. I feel like for movies like that, just
yeah.
it the director has like this magnum opus level thing in his brain, but he's already thought about it so much that when he actually puts it to screen, it's like, this ain't exactly working out.
A little too much thought went into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like I thought a bit too much about this.
Yeah.
So it's.
You don't get that in a Michael Bay movie.
Oh yeah,
You would never walk into a Michael Bay and be like, I think too much thought went into this. Just
The worst one was the. What was the last Transformers before Bumblebee?
well, the last night
Fuck.
where Optimus Prime goes evil.
Yo,
Like
that
this-
movie makes less sense the more you think about it.
Yeah.
Like the cuts. Like before, okay. I
You didn't
understand-
really notice them, but now
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, the cuts are just like they make no sense. They make no sense. Like, why are you cutting? What is this? Why are they talking about this? None of this makes sense. It's just like random Autobot. Yes, I met you 3,000 years ago. Let's fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they really could have. They wasted a good plot point, like evil Optimus Prime. You have any idea what you can do with that?
So much. You can do so much with that. They did more with evil Optimus Prime in the fucking cartoon and Cartoon Network.
Yes,
They did more
I
with it
agree.
there.
They definitely did. There was that one where he was actually with Megatron on his ship and shit. Like,
Yeah,
dude.
Megatron was trying to explain why Decepticons are good, and it made less sense because you could. This is like some fascist propaganda shit.
Yes, just no,
Like,
just stop.
Like Megatron got to Earth and read Mein Kampf. Like that's the first thing he read. And like, okay, this is how we do it.
Yeah, I really like that Transformers Prime series.
that was
Yeah.
good. That was good.
But just with the last night, it's just, man. When I first saw that movie, I actually liked it. I was like, this is my favorite Transformers movie. Then I watched it again and again and again. I'm like, oof, damn.
This does not make any sense.
Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know, the trailer just showed so much more. You saw like the Transformers with King Arthur, and they were like, I'm thinking, damn. And then you get like, oh yeah, Bumblebee fought in World War II. Like, oh, that's the watch that killed Hitler was also an Autobot. Like, what? That's okay. But then you go back, you watch the first movie, like, the first time Transformers landed on Earth was literally in that movie. I'm like,
And then the second one, like, oh yeah, we came a while ago, we just left,
yeah.
coming back.
And then the third one is like, we were there for the moon landing. Like,
We were there for the moon landing. I'm like, how long have you all actually been here? Like, there's no definitive answers. Like, Autobots arrived when man was in his first form, when Adam and Eve arrived on Earth.
And then the fourth one, the Dinobots. Like, what the? How long have you actually been here? Fuck.
Yeah.
First of all, how long have they been here that they haven't been discovered? Seriously, fucking Dinobots just roaming around and didn't get found out to the fourth movie.
What was the... In the Prime series, there was another type of, like, transforming.
Yeah.
It was like an insect.
It was like Transformers Beast something.
Yeah.
Beast Morphers, I think.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But like, yeah.
Those were cool. Those
Yeah.
were cool.
That show went to some dark places, man. It
Yeah,
just
it did.
there was that guy, like that general, and he was like, he took part, like thing. He made himself part Transformer.
Yes,
You
yeah.
remember that guy?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when like the Decepticons caught him, and then like Megatron was like, learn what you can from him, like, find out how it works. And then the guy like picks up this big blade and he's like, my pleasure. And then it cuts to black. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, that went dark.
Holy shit, that was real fucking dark.
Yeah, for a kid show, that went
Cause he's still alive in there. Like just, oh dude.
Yeah.
But like what was the darkest shit I've ever seen on a kid show was in this one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You remember the the old one that would play on like SABC, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like
Yeah.
that was awesome. There was this one guy named Baxter Stockman. Ooh, that was grisly. Cause he worked for Shredder. And every time he failed, Shredder told him like, every time you failed, I'm gonna take off like a body parts. And like every time he was defeated by the turtles, he would lose like, first it was a finger, then a hand, then an eye, then something else and something else. Until like when season 2 came around, Baxter Stockman was just a brain floating in a jar. You remember that guy?
I remember.
That was like
gruesome.
gruesome.
That was dark.
And it got worse for that dude because like he transplanted his brain onto like a body that he created, and then the body started to like decompose like rapidly, and like then his fingers started coming off, and his arm and his eyes and shit. Like, oh, dude.
Yeah, that went places that I didn't want it to go, but it went there. And I was like, well, shit.
I
here
can
we are.
kind of see why now the turtles are a lot more goofy and shit, but like, I don't know. I'm not saying I miss the dark days, but I don't know.
I felt like they were better. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
They
I
were.
felt like they were.
Like that Ben 10 shit. Huh?
Oh, don't fucking stop.
That was
Ben.
way better.
Yo.
Ben 10 and his cousin you didn't think they might have a thing going on, and what's this? You remember that one episode I told you about where they were like floating through a void, and they like met and they were like floating, and he's like, stop it. Like that was just like, whoa, what's going on here?
Like, actually stop it, please. cut to black. Cut to black.
Oh shit. I liked one episode out of that entire show. I've only seen a handful of them, and I only liked one. It's the one where Ben 10 transforms into Vilgax. That is the only thing I liked about that show, is that he can now transform into the Vilgax species, because that's always bugged me.
Yeah, it's like you can transform into everyone else. You know what really fucked me up was that in Alien Force. It
Yeah.
was like when Asmund was like, yeah, you can't fight. It was like, why? It's like that watch holds all DNA,
Really? All DNA?
including humans. I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
That's weird, man. Like,
He didn't need to transform because he was already,
Yeah.
he was already human.
but they did pay that off in that one when Ben 10,000 came back, and he's like, he didn't need to transform anymore once he unlocked like Ultimate Ben. So that pays off. Like, oh, the watch actually does have human DNA in it. And even remember when Albedo showed up, and he looks just like Ben, which proves like the watch did have Ben 10's DNA saved on it.
Yeah,
So yeah, it does make sense.
it does
but,
make sense.
Hey, that's
You know what?
sketchy.
They fucked that show up. They
Yeah.
fucked it up from Alien Force. They just like they did this.
Not a fan of the Ultimate Alien series, eh?
The Ultimate Alien series was fun. What I didn't like is how they fucked up Alien Force.
Yeah.
You know, after the second season, when he gets like clothes change and Kevin gets all fucked up, he touches
Yeah,
the watch.
like-
I despise that. I was like,
Dwayne McDuffie, the producer, you know, God rest him, man. He actually said the studio wanted Ben to have that. They thought the show wasn't reaching the same heights as the original because Ben wasn't acting like his old childish self, and that's what people came to see.
Nah.
So he had to write the character to be more like
you know
goofy
what?
and shit.
You know what? Directors, listen. You're giving it to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
To all directors and companies who don't have anything to do with film, they're like, shut the fuck up.
Just put up the money and step back.
I fucking hate when they get involved. Like, yes, I'm the money. It's like, yes, you're the money, but you have none of the brains to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
You know what? I want Warner Brothers Studios to make their own movie. Not have the director thing just be like directed by Warner Brothers executives. And let's see just what they think is gonna work. And that way, when it's done, we can look at it and say, see, it's not even that good. You know?
Yeah, so keep your hands out of movies, please. You're giving it to people who know what they're doing,
Yeah.
firstly.
But I get it. I can understand why you would want to interfere, because like studios have been burned by directors before. Like,
Oh yeah, they have. But if you have somebody who is performing, who's doing quite well, like the whole reason that we got a second Benter is he's growing up.
Yeah.
He's getting older. Like,
so to have him regress back to his like Ben 10
childlike.
because it doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense, especially you doing that after like a massive character arc. When his
Yeah.
grandfather was dead, dude. That went deep.
That hit me, man. Like, dude, that like silenced me. That actually made me like, I didn't react when I first saw that. Like, he was like, Grandpa, no.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
This show did they just kill Grandpa Max? Like, damn.
Dark.
But that show had its moments, man. Like, that show had seasons of moments.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah. But that final fight with the hybrid and the invasion, Lost Soledad. Remember that? That was
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Professor Paradox is just a fucking legend.
Yeah.
That man, holy shit. The man can do everything.
Yeah.
The man can do everything.
And nothing at the same time when you stop and think
Which
about
is
it.
really confusing.
Yeah. He's like, I can't interfere because it'll like fuck up the timeline.
But aren't
But
you
I'm,
like...
aren't you
already-
being here interfering? Like, yeah. Oh, dude. Well, I remember something. Those keys in the one episode. You remember that season they had to chase that guy? I can't remember his name. He had absorbed the qualities of these aliens.
Oh yeah, he
That
wanted to
guy-
become Alien X.
Yeah, he wanted to absorb an alien X. It was the episode before that, and they were talking about like how do we stop him? Because they needed to get these 4 pieces, and then he had these 4 pieces that were mapped to the Alien X like place, and then Ben 10 just thought like, what if I went Alien X and I just like made him like come back and shit? Like they're like, yeah, you know, Alien X can do anything. I'm just sitting there thinking, you just now think about this.
Remember the last time he did it? Like,
I get it, but dude, aliens can do anything, and you're just now thinking about this.
I feel like the reason that Alien should have never been made. It should have been like, Azimuth was like, yeah, there's a few aliens I can't get, that included. It's too fucking hard.
That's another thing.
How did
Exactly. How the fuck do you get Alien X DNA? Like,
You literally have to assemble a puzzle piece, and you need to have powers of aliens that you don't have access to DNA to, and you managed to get the fucking DNA. Explain yourself right now. 5 marks.
oh, dude, that's a nice show. But that when they traveled to that place, it was a nice touch that they brought in like 10-year-old Ben 10 with him. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Well,
It does create some like a weird paradox where like, wait a minute, aren't you just gonna like think when you Ben 10 when 10-year-old Ben 10 gets to this point, isn't he gonna be like, ooh, deja vu, like just I feel like I've been here before. Just
if that happened to you, right, you had to go. Why am I thinking of Family Guy now?
Family Guy.
This is you know, Family Guy does some dumbass skits.
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember this one cut where they were trying to explain Back to the Future, and they were like, like Marty's dad is standing there like, it's like, oh, remember our friend Marty from so long ago? Like the mom is saying, and then the dad's like, yeah, I remember him. Why does our son look exactly like? You know what?
I thought that same thing for so long,
Yeah,
dude.
there was a cut in Family Guy where they were explaining, it's like, you know what? You burnt the lounge. I'm not going easy on your ass. And he like takes out his belt and goes out there.
Man.
It's like, it'd be so fucked up. It was like, they took, like, how old was he in the series? 15, right?
Yeah.
So they took 10-year-old him and they put him with 15-year-old him. If they did that same thing to you, you'd remember everything. Because they're like, I need to know what's going on.
Well, to
And
be
then-
fair, there's been 5 years between like that and you being in that place. So you didn't remember everything, but you would get a sense like, this is something strangely familiar. Because like with Biff in Back to the Future 2, when he saw Marty and like Biff Jr. like chasing him around, like old man Biff was standing there like, there's something familiar about all
Okay, but
this.
like that's a much bigger time here. That's years.
That's decades, man. Like,
Decades.
yeah.
This is 5 fucking years. It's not that long.
Yeah.
What was I doing 5 years ago? when was Matric? Matric was 2017.
Yeah.
So like 5 years, 2016.
Yes, 3-4 years ago, give or take. Let's just say 3.5 years. Yeah, long time ago.
Yo, I was so young. Yo.
Didn't look so young, but yeah,
Yeah.
beard was still a thing.
No, I didn't have this much beard.
Yeah.
This much beard is good amount of beard.
Yes.
I got like pictures of me from Matric and I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus, why don't you have any facial hair? Where did it go?
Yeah, those were strange times back then. Your beard was merely stubble. My afro was relaxed and like slick back hair. Oh shit. You ever meet me when it was long? Like when I had like the long slick back hair when it was like touching my shoulders? Did you
I
ever...
remember it was like here and I was like,
Oh.
okay, that was cool.
Oh fuck, we never met. Fuck. It was like in, I think it was 2018. No, it was 2019 when I relaxed it again. Cause like I'd been growing my hair for like a year, a proper year, and I relaxed it and it was long. It like touched me right at the back. Cause 2018 I had the slick back that you remember.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, I like, between 2018 and 19, I cut my hair, grew back and whatnot, slicked it back. The day I went to see Endgame was also the day I knew like, I need to shorten this. Because I'd arrived here, I'd bought my ticket, I'd gone out to like get something to eat, and then I'm like, oh fuck, it's gonna start. And I'm like running, and as I'm running, you know a bridal dress, like a really long dress, it's just like a curve, and then when it touches the ground, it's nothing but a straight line.
Yeah.
As I'm running, I can feel my hair is just a curve, and then nothing but a straight line, like fucking Superman's cape just whirling in the wind.
Aerodynamics like,
And then when I get there, it is dry as fuck. It looks huge. Instead of like slick back down, it's like slick back like this, and I'm just sitting in the cinema like, ugh. Fucking tying shit up, just sitting there like, I gotta cut this, man.
I had the same thing. Oh wait, did you see me when I had like a lot of hair?
I don't think so.
Okay, I haven't cut my hair properly since August of last year.
Right.
Right, so the sides were like about this big. I had a lot of fucking hair. And then the barber comes over to my house because his shop closed down. So now he's got a bike, he just shows up. And then he cuts my brother's hair, he cuts my dad's hair, and he's like, you sure you don't want haircuts? And I go in the mirror and I'm like, this is looking fucking bad. Just cut the sides. Let's cut the sides. So he just cuts the sides. I'm like, yes, much better.
Explains the man bun.
Yeah. I didn't want to shave it because that is, I don't know.
Yeah. Then you have like a lot of hair up here, but like little over here. It's just.
It's weird. It's very strange.
You didn't want to go full hipster though.
Not full hipster. Just a little hipster, you know. Just a little hipster. I didn't like buy a frappuccino. I got filter coffee because firstly I'm fucking broke.
Yeah.
It's like just an intern job now, so.
Yeah, man.
I don't have that.
The struggle is real.
I don't have that frappuccino iPhone 11 money yet, man. Come on.
Oh, dude. Like they look old, but everything else is new. Like just like, oh shit. I don't get hipsters, man.
Yeah, they pull out their typo bag and then like with their MacBook.
Dude.
Just like,
and they want shit to be real. Like, what does that even mean? Like authentic, or like.
These hands are real. You can catch these
Yeah,
hands.
like
These hands are real. That's the only real thing you can get
oh
around.
shit. Oh man. Whew. What were we saying? What were we even saying?
I remember my uncle owns a takeaway.
Right.
This chick walks in. And she's like, this is a chicken tikka.
Okay.
It's like, and they sell wraps on the side, like shawarma wraps. He's like, are the wraps organic? I'm like, he leans over the counter. It's like, the shit you take afterwards will be very organic. And her face is just like, and she just walks.
He's not lying.
You do be speaking fast. I was done after that. It's like, I'm never asking if shit's organic.
Oh, damn.
It's all organic. This shit.
Oh, man. We are literally laughing at shit. Like, just, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the humor, man. Jokes have changed, man. You can't make jokes about stuff you used to be able to laugh at now. But you think comedy has changed for better or worse?
I think comedy has reached the point where you get PC culture comedy.
Yeah.
They're very like